What's going on, everybody? Today we got in some ATV control arms, A-arms, whatever you want to call them. But we're gonna get started by getting all these bushings and these grease zerks out along with these ball joints. You don't want to even leave these taped off because it can mess up this rubber boot right here. And usually they're filled with grease, which could potentially run down your part. So you want to make sure you get these out before you bake them. That's pretty much it. We're gonna get those pressed out and everything stripped off, and then we're gonna get them in the rim strip. That way we can get them blasted and coated. Okay, so what you're gonna need to get the snap ring off right here. If you don't know what that looks like, it's this little ring that's got these two pinholes on it, and you stick snap ring pliers in there and it opens up and you can pull it off. If you don't have a set of snap ring pliers, you need to get some from your local hardware store, tool store, wherever you shop for. They usually carry them. So you want to stick it in these two holes, and sometimes it helps to have a screwdriver on hand. If you can't get it to come up, you can just pop it up like that, but this one came off pretty easy. So we're gonna go ahead and get those taken off, and then we'll work on getting these ball joints pressed out. Okay, so I realized that I forgot to hit record while I was pressing these ball joints out. Basically all I did was, so this was in here like that, you know, pressed in, and I take a pipe fitting just like this, or one that fits, and I put it on this bottom side to where it touches on all the edges, and I put my shot press right here and pushes down into the pipe just like that. So if you don't have a shot press or access to one, I've found other ways on YouTube. You know, some work better than others, but just shop around or look around, sorry, and you might be able to find something that'll work for you. But anyways, now that that's done, I'm gonna work on taking all these bushings and grease zerks out. Those are pretty simple. You know, you'll just use a wrench on these grease zerks and pull those out, and they just thread out. Depending on how tight the bushings are, sometimes you can just pull those out like that, and then sometimes you can pull these out, fairly simple. Sometimes you need like a screwdriver on the other side, and you can just kind of tap it out, but nothing that's too hard. Okay, this one's being a little tricky, but okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a socket that slides in here, and I'm just gonna tap it with the hammer and it'll come right out. So I just got a socket that fits in there pretty good, and we'll just hit that a few times and it'll come out just like that. All right, so these parts have been in here about 15 minutes in the rim strip. We're gonna check on them and they look like they're ready to go. So we're gonna get them in the neutralizing tank and then we'll get them ready to blast. We'll let those sit in there for a few minutes and we'll take them out. We'll rinse them off with a water hose and they'll be ready to go. So here's the parts, 100% finished up on my end. There's a few things that the customer still needs to do. There's a couple grease zerks missing. He said he's gonna get those and replace those himself and then re-grease all the bushings. He didn't want me to do that. But we got all the ball joints in, all the bushings, you know. It turned out pretty good, a lot better than they were when the customer dropped them off. So we got more videos like this coming up. If you like what you see, comment, like, subscribe. You know, it'll help this channel grow so we can keep putting out content and some helpful tips for you guys.